This radio here is a Watterson model 602. This is a fairly rare transistor radio which was built in Texas around 1958. This is a two-band radio. It covers the normal AM broadcast band, which you can see along the top here, and also the marine band, which is no longer in use. My understanding is that this radio was used to listen to ship-to-shore communications, as well as just being a general, camp radio. Wood case is pretty unusual. There are only a handful of transistor radios that have wooden cases, at least as far as transistor radios made in the US go. This radio basically didn't work at all when I got it. After I replaced all of the electrolytic capacitors, this radio began to play quite beautifully. It's fairly unusual for every single capacitor in a transistor radio to be bad, but that was the case in this one. 4 of the capacitors were in a cardboard multi-section capacitor, and those are generally garbage. And then there was one separate capacitor which was also bad. Alright, let's hear it play.
And puts the hand up.
Here's the 1-2 to Leon. Swings and misses. Struck him a swing on a breaking ball again. And again the breaking ball went...
By the end of the decade.
This radio is fairly sensitive to interference. I had to put my computer to sleep to cut down some of the noise, but it's still, picking up a fair bit.
Nazis is telling them they're not welcome in his state and they are not welcome in this country.
Police temporarily closed all northbound lanes, causing traffic to pile up for miles and miles. No word yet on what caused the tanker to crash. And a 58-year-old man says he fell into a sinkhole on Norris and Patton Street.
The fact of the matter is, repeatedly during the campaign, Trump built...
See how easy this is, won't you?
Yes.
For me, Argentina, not in my wild days, my Maracita. I kept my promise to keep your distance. I don't think those are the actual words, but
okay.
Any of that.
Fans in New York are Jewish. He gave to so many civil rights groups like Al Sharpton's group. He almost bankrupted them, giving away money.
Other people a platform to do what they want to do, and if you want to sit down and
here, Severino was thrust into action even behind the plate of the division series.
He was hitting .230 with 5 homers at Syracuse this year.
When this radio is well away from any sources of interference, the local AM stations sound pretty near FM quality.
Thus saith the Lord, that after...
There's some polka for you. Let's try the marine band. I probably won't get anything, but here goes. There's a fine-tuned control on the side here. It's a little scratchy.
I'm going to tell you the truth. If you love the truth, you'll buy...
That only does anything on the marine band. Beacon of some sort.
With all my heart, soul, and strength. And I didn't love my neighbors either. I didn't know what to do.
that's all there is to receive, at least right here and right now. Oddly, the band switch isn't marked at all, so you kind of have to know what position it's in already, and be careful about not forcing the knob. You can tell this was a very low production volume set. Serial number on the bottom there is 7852. I kind of doubt they even made that many. There's the hookups for antenna and ground here. One of these wires is the antenna for shortwave. The red one here. They didn't even mark it. The case for this radio is the same as the Model 601, along with most of the labels. The set was missing all the back cover screws when I got it. I replaced them with some ones I had. You can see I didn't replace all of them. It's kind of an excessive number of them. This is not the original battery holder. This is a battery holder out of an Admiral transistor radio I scrapped. The original battery holder was like the one in my Watterson 603, which I did a video on a couple of years ago. 2 cardboard tubes that were held down by a metal clamp along here. I'm guessing that either failed or was corroded. On my 603, the lids don't stay on when there's batteries in there. They're just, cheaply made battery holders. This works pretty well. I'd say it honestly looks like it belongs. So I'm happy with how that turned out. These clamps came out of the Admiral as well. You can see that this layout was for the Model 601. They just crossed out 601 and wrote 602. There's the serial number again. Guess they wanted it on both the case and the chassis. This chassis is kind of a pain in the butt to take out, so I don't really feel like doing that. You can see it's got a metal chassis and socketed transistors, all of which were made by Texas Instruments. To remove the chassis, you got to take out the 3 screws on the bottom there, remove the knobs from the front of the radio, as well as the side. You have to kind of carefully slide the chassis out at an angle, because this handle here gets in the way of the dial scale plate there. Takes a little finesse. You can see most of the socketed transistors easily. On the side there are the 2 output transistors. They're heat synced to the chassis. It's got a good sized speaker, and that's a big part of why it sounds so nice. When I got it, some kid had crudely tried to replace the battery compartment. They apparently didn't own a soldering iron, so they just twisted the wires on there. Well, thanks for watching.